So here we go, we're entering a new year and it's time to start planning out those goals for the new year. You guys know I tell you all the time to write down your goals. So let's get into our business goals for 2022.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
What's up, icons? It's the iconic fashion figure back with a new video. And it's time for me to start planning out my 2022 goals. I know this year isn't over with yet, so a few of these things I have to kind of, finagle and guess a bit. But because the end of December is like my slow time anyway, I'm closed during that time frame, it's a little easier for me to plan out my goals because I don't need to know my sales for that last couple weeks, honestly. So let me jump right into it. The first thing I like to do when I'm trying to figure out, my business goals for the next year is, of course, look at an overview of my sales from the previous year. So right now, I just want to look at an overview of my 2021 sales. The first thing I'll do is look at it by year. How much did I make the entire year of 2021? And then I'll look at it by month. Each month, how much money did I make? From there, once I know my number that I made for the year of 2021, I kind of put this number in my head of, okay, now this is what I want to do for 2022. So just for a random number to throw out there, let's say I made $100,000 in 2021. 2022, I'm going to double that. So I'm doing $200,000 2022. Get the idea? I'm looking at the previous year, and of course I want to do better than the previous year. And then once I have that number in mind, I can break that down by month. But this again is just a general idea. I have yet to make my goals solid. So I know 200,000, and then I just want to break that down by each month. But the first thing I like to do when I'm looking at it by month and for the year overall, I try to look for any foreseeable changes or events that may be happening in the upcoming years. So anything that may increase my sales or decrease my sales, but because of course that'll affect my goals. For example, I know my birthday, it's my 30th birthday next year. I know that I'm not working during that time. I'm taking a vacation for my 30th birthday. Now, of course, business still is going to continue running, but usually when I'm not around and I'm not working, things kind of slow down for whatever reason. So I know during that time frame, my sales might be a little slow. So for the month of March, I want to be careful of what I set my goals to because I'm not going to be around for most of that month. I also just started Fashion Formula 101, which I didn't have much sales for this year because I started towards the end of the year. So now I'm doing projections based off of, sales for a couple months. So I have to look at that as well. Now with the new business, I know that I want to create goals for Nouveau Rich and then also Fashion Formula 101 separately. But then for my own personal sake, I want to combine them and have an overall idea of how much I'm going to make for that entire year. And then I also know I have a couple other business ideas in mind that I definitely want to put forth. Most likely next year. I haven't made that decision yet, so I haven't really talked about it much, but I know there's other things that I do want to do. So I want to kind of keep that in mind for my overall goal for the entire year for all businesses. If I'm going to start a new venture, I want to figure out, one, my expenses for that because that's going to increase my profits for next year. But then if I make any money off of it next year, that will increase it. So I got to plan for that as well. Any changes in my current business, so let's say we're focusing on the clothing wholesale business, any changes I may be making there, new collections, maybe I'm taking away collection, maybe, expanding on a collection, those will affect my sales. So I want to pay attention to what goals I'm creating if I'm doing those things as well. So I really have to look at my calendar of what I'm doing next year and then plan my goals around that. And then once I have those goals set in place by month and then for the whole year, I need to come up with a strategy of how I'm hitting these goals because I can't just say this is the money I'm making and I don't have a plan on how I'm going to make that happen. I know I want to do better than the previous year, but what can I do to be better than the previous year? Now with goals, it's not all just about money. There's other goals in business that you want to pay attention to, like the number of new customers. Of course, I want to keep welcoming in new customers because that's how I'll continue to grow my business. So now now again, I want to look at my previous year to see how many new customers did I gain, and then look at it by month, how many of them came in each month, because there may have been months where there were more new customers than others, and kind of analyze what was going on during those months that I gained more new customers than any other month. And then I'm going to come up with my goal for 2022 for the year and then break it down by month. Let's say I want 300 new customers, to throw out a random number for the entire year, and I'm going to break it down by month, how many I need to hit each month to hit that goal by the end of 2022. When planning out my goals, I like to ask myself a few other questions too, like based off of the goal that I had set for the previous year. Did I actually hit my goal? Because maybe my goal was too high, or maybe I did something wrong that year. So maybe that goal from last year might be my goal again this year if I didn't hit it. Or did I go way over the goal that I had next year? Maybe I need to increase my goals a lot more than I have been planning, because I'm doing a lot better than anticipated. And then once again, for the new customers, come up with a strategy of how you're going to get these customers. Where are they coming from? How are you going to reach them? And we don't want to just focus on new customers, because you have the customers that are loyal to you. You want to continue with those relationships with those customers. So we're creating goals for our returning customers. How are we getting those customers to come back to us? So I usually look at the previous year, as always, to see what percentage of my customers were returning customers. And then I want to set a goal for the next year, so 2022, what percentage of my customers do I want to hit to be returning customers? Of course, I want that number to increase from the previous year. I need to get my customers coming back. So now I got to come up with a strategy of how I'm getting those customers to come back. Lastly, I'm going to focus on social media goals, because that is free marketing. I want to engage with my customers more to grow my social media. That will help my business overall to hopefully help me reach these other goals of my sales goal, new customers, current customers. Social media can help me do that. So now let's come up with some social media goals. Of course, increase number of followers. That's always everyone's goal on social media. But then also want to look at the engagement, the comments and like. I want to get people engaged more. So I want to set goals for that and how I'm going to do it. And I know a thing that I struggle with social media is remaining consistent. So now I'm going to set goals for myself on the number of posts, whether it's feed, story, reels, TikTok, Twitter, whatever I'm posting on. I need to set goals for that as well, so that way I can maintain that and hopefully reach my other goals that I'm trying to obtain. There's so many other goals that I can come up with as far as business, which I do set goals for like every aspect of my business, whether it's shipping, like the shipping time frame, the amount I'm shipping out in a day, because that's a part of like my operations goals. Trying to keep up with my accounting and filing. I set goals for everything just to make sure my business is always running smoothly. So what I've done for you guys is I've created a few different spreadsheets of business goals that you guys can use, so that way you have a template of how to write out your goals for each month and for the year, so that way hopefully you guys can keep up with your goals. Thank you guys for watching.